Today we are exploring the ASA lab. Let me refresh this page. Let me add ASA first. ASA is added. Let me add on router. On one. Let me add a router 3, router 2. Let me add another router. Yes, added. Let me add another router. Total in this scenario, we are adding 4 routers considering a zone. One is inside, one is outside. Okay, 2 DMZ zone, I'm creating it. Switches. Yeah. Adding L2 switches. Mhm. We are going to connect to physical interfaces. Okay. And from here to here. So all the devices connectivity has done. Let me turn on all the devices. One more thing I need to do. Okay. Adding a management cloud here. Management cloud I'm connecting here. Sorry, here I need to delete this. I need to connect this into the management port. Yes. Now the physical architecture it will be looks like that. Now let me turn on the devices. Once we powered on the devices, okay, we cannot connect the cable in the simulation. So we are kind of making the physical connectivity everything how we want, and then we are making devices up. Let devices take some time to power it on. Okay, now I have powered on all the devices. Now let's write it down everything what I want to do it. Inside zone, this is my inside zone. IP which I am going to use for this inside zone is 10.11.11.0/24. Let me use the font color as for inside zone green. The font size I'm using as a 14. The background for this is inside zone. The security level which I'm going to use it for this security level 100. By default, for inside zone, the security level will be 100. Now this will be the DMZ zone. DMZ zone. The security level by default level I'll use it. Okay, 110.0 I'll be using it. IP address for this zone 192.168.30.0. The font is 16. Let me use. Yeah, this is my DMZ zone. I'm creating another DMZ zone. DMZ zone is demilitarized zone. Okay, here we are going to in this lab we are going to test the basic functionality of the ASA, like what is the default, all those things. For that purpose only we are making this lab. Okay, now for this IP is 192.168.30.0/24. Save it. I'm going to use this. This zone I'll use it as a okay. Both are DMZs. Then I'll make this as a DMZ2. This I'll make as a DMZ. One. Okay, now let me use this zone as outside zone. Outside the security level again here I am going to use as a 0. Here which I am going to use subnet is 172.16.3.0. Okay, now I have assigned it what I am going to configure. This is my management zone. Oh, sorry. Both segment I use the same IP pool. Let me get corrected this. And it's a 40. Now let me assign IP address as a dot 10 is here. Dot 10 in this interface. Everywhere I'll use a dot 10. Gateway of ASA will be dot 10. Here for management also, and configure some subnets. As of now, I'm assigning some IPs to the management 0.0.0/24. No, this is my management subnet. All the device routers I will assign IP as a dot 1 with this same subnet. Now let us prepare a offline configuration in the notepad. It is easy for us to make it assigned. Router 1, the offline configuration is 10.10. First of all, interface 10 dot, sorry, GI 0/0, IP address 10.11.11.1, subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and node shell, and default route will be towards a firewall 0.0.0.0.0.0.0 space. What is my firewall IP is all dot 10. 10.10.11.11.10. This is the basic configuration. For router 2, command is same, the similar we need to do it. This subnet is 172.16.3.0. Here I need to assign in the router dot one. For this gateway is 10. Now router 3. Commands will be the similar. Only thing difference is I need to change the IPs. 192, sorry, 168, 30.1. Here IP for this. Now R4. R3 is 30 actually. 30. Here R4 is 40. 40. Now offline configuration is ready for all the devices. Let me do the configuration, prepare the configuration for ASA. Offline configuration. Interface GI 0/0. Here this interface GI 0/0, which we are going to use it for our inside zone. The inside zone, okay, by default the configuration will come as the security level will come as a by default 100. Let us do configuration for that. IP address, similar command what we are going to give for router, similar command. Only the subnet will all those things will remain same. Here 10.11.11.10, and then we need to assign as a which security zone it belongs. Name if inside. Okay, by default it will take a security level 100. Now similarly we'll prepare a configuration for other interfaces. GA0/1 is my outside. Outside will come as a this segment. By default outside will security level will have 0. Now let me configure ZA0/2 which is connected to DMZ1 zone. IP is again 192.168.40.10. See here I am going to use this as a DMZ1. If you are not assigning apart from inside, if you are not assigning anything, okay, by default it will choose as a security level as 0. IP address is here 3. 0 1 2 3. 0 is used for inside zone, GA0/1 is used for outside zone, GA0/2 is used for DMZ1, GA0/3 is used for DMZ2. Now management is that MGMT 0/0. Here also will come as IP address 105.0.0.0. Sorry, here 10. Subnet must 255.255.255.0. Name is mgmt. Now let us do this basic configuration on the ASA first. I have copied everything. Let me open my ASA. Config, before that show name if. Okay, there is no configuration. Show interface IP brief. No IP is assigned. Let me assign the IPs. Yeah, we did all the configuration. Only the management name I have given as a probably. Yeah. Let me get corrected. Rest all IPs are correct. So if you see, okay, by default, apart from inside, okay, the inside giving the name itself, it is considered as inside. Okay, default 100 has taken. Apart from inside, whatever we given, I if I not given any security level, it will take as a by default level as a 0, which is a very low security level, which is outside zone. The inside zone is a trusted zone. That's why its security level is by default 100. Wherever apart from inside, whatever we are configuring by default, it will consider as an untrusted zone, which is by default value 0. Now let me shut down all the interfaces. Unshut. No. Shut. No. Shut. No. Shut. No. Shut. No. All those three interfaces, four interfaces, we shut down. Okay. Now 0/0. No. Shut. Now all physically connected interfaces with no shut. We did it right. Mem. Now let us do the configuration of router 1. Now let me do the configuration of router 1. Let me open all the routers. It will take few minutes to get all those things. Now router 1, I'm going to do the configuration. Yes, done. Now let me ping a firewall IP address from my router. Yes, it's pinging. Let me save the configuration here. Now let me go to the router 2. The router 4. Let me go to the router 2. Let me paste the configuration for the router 2, which I have prepared already. Now router 2 configuration is done. Let me ping a gateway, which is my firewall. Yes, it's picking. Now router 3. Let me open my router 3. Now router 3 also I did a basic configuration. Let me ping a firewall IP. Yes, it's pinging. Let me save the configurations. Now router 4. In fact, the router 4 configuration, let me copy paste from my notepad, which I have prepared already. Now let me ping firewall IP from my router. Yes. All the four firewalls, inside zone, outside zone, DMZ1, DMZ2. Okay, from this router, I could be able to ping the ASA gateway IP, which we configured. Now this is a basic, we made a setup. Now we are going to see how to configure the security levels, all those things. Now let me show you on command output what are the security levels by default is show name if. Okay, you could able to see for inside it has taken as a 100, for outside by default taken as a 0, for DMZ1, DMZ2 0. Okay, by default, okay, if we, and apart from inside, if you are giving any name, it will give us the lowest security level, which is the unthrust zone. Discuss about security level rules in ASA. Okay, now we are going to discuss default behavior. Okay, if you are not configuring any access list, how the default behavior works, that we are going to discuss it in detail now. Let's take ASA. My inside zone I have configured with a security level of 100. My outside zone default I have not configured any security level, which is 0. Okay, my DMZ1 also as of now I have not configured any security level. Okay, let it be a 0. Okay, default which has taken. For DMZ1 also I have not configured any security level. By default value it will be 0. Now let me go to the ASA. I will show you guys how what is the values. Show name if you give this command, it will show okay the what and all interface I have configured, what is the security what interface if name, and then what is the security level. By default if you configure as inside, it will take a security level as 100. Okay, rest of the name if you give ABC whatever if you give, okay, default security level will be 0. Okay, if you configure as a inside, it will be taken as a default 100. Now rest of the outside DMZ1 DMZ2 management, it has taken by default as 0. Now the first, how it works. By default ASA can pass through the traffic from high security level to low security. Okay, it will not happen from low to high. Okay, where I have high security, okay, if no access list is configured, okay, it will take a first preference by default. Okay, from high security level to low security level we can send a traffic. Let me show you guys that too. Only I can default allow the only the TCP and UDP traffic. Okay, not ICMP, other protocol traffics and all, I cannot do it. Okay, let me demonstrate you guys. Okay, let me go to the router one. Router one, which I have already logged in. Okay. My default gateway is, let me ping my default gateway, which is my ASA IP address 10.11.11.10. Yes, I'm able to ping a default gateway. Now Let me ping this router IP address, whether it will ping or not. Ping, what is the IP address of this router? 172.16.3.1. 172.16.3.1. No, it will not ping. Why it is not pinging? As per the default policy, if it is a high security level to lower security level, it should ping. But here it is not pinging. Why it is? As I said, only it will allow the TCP and UDP traffic. It will not allow apart from that. Let me do the telnet to that router. Let me try a telnet to the router 2. Okay, this is connection is refused by a remote host, but my firewall is passing, but the remote host is refusing. Let me do one change in my remote router. I have to allow in line VTY telnet. Then only my router will accept. Now the firewall is accepting a traffic. Let me do the changes in my router line VTY 04 by default. Transport input tell all. I will give as of now all. Now let me try from my router 1. Now this traffic is opened. Now I'm able to connect. It's opening, but I have not set any password, so it is coming out. Now I could able to see the open. Now let me go to my firewall as well. Show connections, it's not there. Let me open again. Yes, see here, I could able to see the connection table. Okay, the connection table, it will be showing the reverse manner if you see. Okay, this is my source, this is a destination. Okay, this is a reverse connection table. Reverse, it will show in the reverse. Okay, first it will show as a destination IP, and then after that it will show as source IP. The source IP is my router 10.11.11.1, which is my R1. It is trying to reach at 172.16.3.1 on the telnet port 23. It's inside to outside. If you see here, it is a inside to outside. The same way I can reach out all these three routers. Let me show you from inside to outside. DMZ. Now let me try it here. Telnet 192.168.30.1. See here also connection refused by remote host because of I have not allowed in the router. Let me allow that also in the router. Here config t line bty 04 transport input all. Now this also will be accepted by my router 1. Yeah, it's opening, but due to I have not set any password in the telnet, okay, it is not moving further, but the connection is opening. Now, see this high security level inside zone, it's 100. It is able to communicate a 0 security level. Now, let me try from low security to high security, whether it is working or not. R2 is a 0. First rule, okay, by default, which we covered now. Okay, let me go to the second rule. By default, no communication between low to high security level. This is a, let me telnet 10.11.11.1. No, it will not be allowed. Why? Because in my by default low to high it's not allowed. I am trying from here from R3 to R1. It is by default it is denied. If we have any access list, then it will be allowed. Okay, until unless if you don't have any access list, by default it will be denied. Now by default communication between same security level. See, I have the same security level DMZ to outside, outside to DMZ. Whether it will work or not, let me see here. Telnet 172.16.3.1. No, it will not work. Even the third rule by default rule is by default no communication between same security levels. Now, okay, even I want to make both same security level to communication, I need to configure intra-zone communication. In ASA, I need to allow inter-zone permit same traffic, same security traffic permit inter interface or intra interface. The inter interface means two different zones. Okay, intra means, see, inter means the permit the communication between two different interfaces and zones with the same security level. Okay, intra means the permit the communication between peers connected to the same interface and different interface in the same zone. Now let me allow the inter interfaces with the same security level. After this, after allowing this command, if I go to the R3 to R2, it will open. Now I am able to open R3 to R2. But here, one more catch is that even ping also will happen. See, earlier by default, only it will allow TCP and UDP. Okay, if you allow the interzone same security permit interface, it will allow the ping also. So ideally, whenever we are configuring the ASA, ideally we should configure with a different security level. That is a best practice. Otherwise, we cannot control the traffic. Okay, they'll allow the TCP, UDP, all certain communication. By default, TCP, UDP, it's implicitly inspected from high to low security levels only. By default, if you allow the same security levels, okay, it will allow TCP, UDP, all the all the protocols, okay, IP protocols, it will allow it. We cannot restrict anything on this by default policy. We have to add the ACL. Even if we add ACL also, okay, it will override and it will take a default intra-zone communication. It will allow all the traffic. By default, ASA does not inspect inspection on the based on the layer 3 and layer 4 information. That's what mainly we discuss security level rules. The first default rule is that by default traffic can pass through ASA from high security level to low security level only. By default, no communication between low to high security level until unless we add any access list, and then by default no communication between same security levels. We have to use the command interzone communication to allowing that, or intra-zone communication, whatever based on the need we have to get allowed. By default, TCP and UDP traffic is implicitly inspected from high to low security levels only. From low to high, it will not get inspected anything, it will deny it. And then by default, ASA does inspection based on layer 3 and layer 4 information. Okay, if you want to do additional anything, okay, license needs to get enabled, all those things we have to get enabled. Thanks for watching the tax from me. We'll meet in another video.